Hello, Jason Fladlin here, CEO of Rapid Crush Inc. On behalf of Wilson Matos, who's the co-founder of Rapid Crush, and John S. Rhodes, our CMO, and everybody at our wonderful family of now up to 28 employees at Rapid Crush Inc., we welcome you to the Product Creation Secrets webinar training here today. And this is what I know about you as we begin this training. First of all, I know you have a product in you that's just dying to get out there and help others. You, yes you, have something incredible inside of you that only if you took the time and the discipline to mold it out and put it out in the real world, it would be of so much tremendous value of other people. We got to get it out of you. We got to extract it from you, and that's my job here today. Here's what I also know about you. You cannot get paid for a product that doesn't have a buy button. It's unfortunate that this is the case. I would love for somebody one day to walk up to me on the street and say, hey, I know you got something of value in your brain. Let me just give you some money and maybe sometime in the future you'll share it with me. That's never happened to me. I don't think that's going to happen to you. You cannot get paid for a product that does not have no buy button. My role here today is to empower you to have many buy buttons that people can smash and press and click and go through as a result of what we do here today. Here's what I also know about you. You get bogged down by the little details, most of which don't really matter at the end of the day. We could randomly pick decisions on most of the details that slow you down, and it really wouldn't matter one way or the other. But hey, that's your situation, and I'm going to help you get past that, okay? Lastly, here's what I know about you. You are ready to change this now. Am I correct in that assessment? Are you ready to change this now? To have that product inside you finally get out there and help other people. To get paid by having these buy buttons that exist out there. To walk right past the details and not sweat the small stuff. And focus on the very few vital few things that matter. Are you ready to change that now? Well, let's get to work. Thought experiment for you. I believe any problem can be solved if you just ask the right questions. Do you agree with me on that? That any problem can be solved, not with knowing the answer necessarily, but by asking the right questions. I'm going to ask you some incredibly powerful questions today that I think are going to help allow you to unlock the potential inside of you. For example, I have a question for you right now. Is there something you can wake up in the morning not knowing how to do, cram a few hours to learn this thing, and then from cramming gain enough experience that you could sell your insights as a result of that cram session to lots of people who would be happy, eager, and willing to pay you for your insights? Do you suppose that that's possible? Let's start there. Do you buy into that premise? Do you suppose, given the right instructions, framework, guidance, system, process, what have you, you could wake up in the morning not knowing how to do something very specific, focus on learning how to do that in just a few hours, gain enough insight from focusing on learning how to do that, by that night you could have something you could sell to people who would be happy, eager, and willing to buy, to have the pleasure of it. And there's so many yeses in this chat box. I wish you could see things from where I'm looking at right now, because I'm seeing yes, 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 yes. Yes, 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 yes. So it's possible. We agree it's possible. So how do we make this happen? Well, here's some requirements that you have to have. You need to be tactical and specific. You got to be tactical and specific for this to happen. You would have to focus on an immediate improvement in a customer's life. Because if you only have a few hours of experience, you better point that experience to something that somebody can say, ah, wow, that's good. And they feel better off immediately interacting with you, right? It wouldn't require a massive amount of experience to make this happen on your end. You'd have to pick and choose things that you could assimilate the gist of in rapid succession and then be able to translate that into a product. And of course, not be technical or bogged down by the details. My goal here today is to show you a system where you can identify a valuable problem to solve in a lightning-fast systematic approach that results in a high-valued info product that someone can easily buy from you and get a better experience within a few minutes after purchasing from you than any other previous product on the topic from any other guru at any other price point. That's what I'm going to attempt to do here today. Show you that system. And yes, this even applies to problems you don't know even exist. So problems you don't even know exist yet. I'm going to show you how to find those and solve those and get paid for that experience. Even if you currently have zero expertise, zero proof on these problems that you don't even know exist yet. Even if you don't have a slight clue on how to sell anyone, I'm going to show you a system that with the right approach, the sales angle is already covered for you just by exposing the problem. And if you don't know how to reach these people, generate traffic is how they say it. If they want to be very impersonal, I like to say reach people. If you don't know how to reach these people, guess what? We'll have them reach you. That's my attempt. I like to aim big. What's the saying? Shoot for the moon. You can still fall in the stars, right? Now I have some unique insights that allow me to make such big claims and take on big, ambitious projects like the one I've laid out for you here today. For example, at the start of 2007, I was living rent-free. It was a pretty sweet deal. I could not afford rent on my own, so I had to live with my dad in a tiny little apartment. And my single source of income was $12 an hour painting houses. In fact, this is where I lived. I just pulled this off of Google Street Maps today. We lived there in that little beautiful thing, right above an empty place that was sometimes a consignment shop and sometimes nothing. And then right next to it, there's a pawn shop. You know, pay for gold. So you can understand the kind of socioeconomic standard which my dad and I were experiencing. This was 2007. So we're talking 9 years ago. The one thing I did have going for me was a desire to be wealthy, and I was willing to put in the work to make it happen. I was willing to put in the hard work, the sweat equity, to make something like that happen. And in 2016, I should say, not 2006, I wish it was 2006, but I went from 2009 with nothing but a dream and a desire to in 2016, by the end of 2015, last year alone, we did $15,786,405 in sales. That's top line revenue in 2015. $15,786,405. The worst month we ever had was January, where we only generated $649,133. So to go from nothing in 2007 to the end of 2015 in a single year, 12 months generate $15.7 million, I stand before you truly humbled by such a number. However, along the way I picked up some things that I don't think anybody else anywhere else knows that go into what I'm going to show you today. Now, to give you context, the first information product I ever created, which started the ball rolling, was this one, November 12, 2007. So I didn't even get into the game until almost the end of 2008. So beginning of 2016 and 2008, we're really only talking about 8 years here, from nothing to $15 million a year, right? First product, November 12, 2007, $4. That's what I charged for it. I took home $358 at the end of the day for that sale. Flash forward to the day. February 2nd, I ran the PayPal. I logged in there. $1 million in a PayPal account, just sitting there. Unique insight, right? I believe these help me understand things in a way and then relay them to you so I can give you insights you cannot get anywhere else. I'm actually most proud of this one, this number right here. In Nanocast, we have 889 products configured. 889 products configured. Used to be you could only put 500 in Nanocast. We were the first ones to breach the hard limit they set in their shopping cart. They had to expand it because we were the first people to hit over 500 products in a shopping cart, information products. And more important than all of those things combined, I have created millionaires with the result of the knowledge that I've discovered along the way for information product creation. I asked Costas the other day, I said, would it be fair to say that this has helped you in some way, shape, or form generate millions of dollars in sales online? How I approach creating information products. And Costas says to me, oh, yeah, totally. He says, really, this set the foundation for every product I've made. My personal one big thing that I've always needed clarity on, this is the reason I believe I was not able to see before. The word I'm looking for is framework. What exactly do I do independent of my feelings, independent of my skills? Just tell me what to do step by step so I don't have to think about it, and all I have to do is execute on those steps. Yours was the first program I could follow on that level. Millions of dollars later. Never created an information product before me. Kieran, same thing. I owe a massive amount of appreciation to Jason Fladlin for mentoring me to success and giving me the permission to succeed. I've helped launch over 30 products, attracting over 60,000 paying customers, generating over $3 million for my clients, and probably another 1.5 to $2 million more in affiliate commissions as a result of that, right? Our focus today, we're going to focus on how to turn problems into products that you can create from scratch in hours, which already have traffic built into them, pretty much sell themselves, and truly make a difference in a customer's life. So you get the wealth of the finance, and you also get the wealth of the spiritual betterment of your fellow person. Now here's some considerations for you. If you had a tremendously valuable resource for someone suffering immense pain, how hard do you think you'd have to motivate yourself to offer the solution to them? See, a lot of people make the mistake and they say, Jason, I can't get going. I procrastinate. Jason, I wish I could just get out there and do something, but I can't seem to pull the trigger. And I say, phooey. If you had something of tremendous value and you could immediately relieve somebody's pain, do you think you would have to motivate yourself to put it out there, to get it to them? I don't think you'd have to motivate yourself. It would be more painful to do nothing in a situation like that than to do anything. How good do you think you'd have to be at offering a solution if the solution was as good as what I just described? And how easy would it be for them to inquire and desire and other solutions that you might also be able to offer in the future as well? They call it back end, if you want to use a technical marketing term. And the secret to back end marketing is doing so well on the front end that people just want more of you. Now here's the challenges that I'm going to face as I attempt to empower you to achieve these higher levels of existence. You're going to say, Jason, I have nothing currently I can offer that people would be glad to pay for. And that's a lie. You do, you just don't know it yet. And you say, Jason, who would believe? Because it's one thing to have it, but what if people don't believe me? Who would believe I have something of value that they would pay a complete stranger for on the internet? And I will tell you, the right kind of people in the right circumstance are willing to take a chance on you. And that's all you need to get wealthy. It's a couple people willing to take a chance on you. We can start there, all right? You say, Jason, I don't know how to set up a domain. I don't know how to set up hosting. I don't know how to set up PayPal, sales pages, down pages, or anything. We can pay people for that. That's not a big deal. Here's some other considerations. Jason, even if I did have something valuable, I can't reach those who I can help the most. Yes, you can. You just don't know it yet. Okay? Say, Jason, I already don't have time to do the things I feel obligated to do. Now you want me to do this as well? Yes, I do. You should eliminate other more wasteful things that you're doing with your time and put this in its place. And now we have the time to do something like this. You say, Jason, what if I don't have time to wait for a return on my effort and my investment creating my own information product? I'm willing to put the time in today, but what if I die of starvation waiting for it to come back to me in terms of money? Well, full time, so that way it comes back to you right away, okay? Jason, why would I create my own product when I can simply promote somebody else's product as an affiliate? It's a good question. There is nothing ever that can replace in terms of attraction, in terms of conversion, in terms of the ability to get customers than your own product. By the way, having your own product is the easiest way to be an affiliate. I should know I'm one of the most successful affiliates of all time, but I didn't get successful at affiliate marketing until I had a lot of products. So Jason, why should I create my own product when I can buy PLR to an information product? Well, congratulations, you and everybody else can do that, and there's no actual top-level advantage to the customer, and by the time you focus on repurposing the whole thing, you could have just started from scratch and been done and had a 10 times better product 10 times quicker. You say, Jason, I've created my own info products in the past and haven't been successful. How will this be different? I'll let you judge for yourself. It's not that what you've done in the past or haven't done in the past that matters. It's what you're going to do today as a result of learning a different way of doing things. I will give you the framework that focuses on quick, immediate results and can be done by anyone who desires to better themselves. If you have desire, That's all I need on your end. Where even the first time you tried this, even at your worst, you'll still be successful. Because here's a lesson for you. When you create information products, you must create them in a way that even if somebody screws up almost every step in the process, they still get an immediate tangible benefit. That's how we're going to do things from this day forward, you and I together, right? Here is the info product process. Niche. Where can you immediately make a splash? Problem. What is something you can solve with minimum effort and time? Solution. How can you make an immediate improvement in your customers' lives? System. How will you do this over and over again to make success inevitable? Action. How will you guarantee that you implement this and that you profit from it? Niche, problem, solution, system, action. It seems so simple because it is, but the devil is in the details. Let's break down some of the details. First of all, information products. Let's make sure we're on the same page here. Any product someone can purchase that can provide instruction and insight to help them help themselves related to a specific issue. We call that an information product. Anything where you can provide instruction and insight to help them help themselves, that is an information product. Another way of putting it is information products are specific solutions to specific problems. Another way to look at it is this. You don't create info products. You create solutions and then package those solutions into info products. Key insight. You don't create info products. You create solutions and then package those solutions into info products. Already just by changing the focus and the perspective how we look at things, do you suppose that creates a different emotional response the next time you go and sit down and do this, right? You're not creating an info product anymore. You're creating a solution and then packaging that solution into an info product. Now here's what's important. Information alone is virtually worthless. You might not agree with me on that right away. So let me explain myself. And then I think you will agree with me. Information alone is virtually worthless. How the information is organized and how the information is presented, that's what makes all the difference in the world. If you present somebody an idea in a way that freaks them out, I don't care if it's the best idea in the world, the chance of them using it is almost nothing. However, if you take mundane, average, run-of-the-mill, everyday information, but supercharge it with excitement and fun and the ability for the customer to feel confident, that will probably get them more success, even if it's just blasé, boring, mundane information. Now, naturally, we try to do both, the best information with the best structure and the best format. But here's the deal. We all have access to a tremendous amount of wonderful information, yet most people still can't solve the problems that plague them, including you, including me. We all have a lot of access to a lot of wonderful information, yet most of us still struggle with their problems day in and day out. That's because the information on its own is virtually worthless. It's how the information is organized, packaged, and presented that makes all the difference. This is your advantage moving forward. Specifically, when it comes to your insider advantage, you're going to make money because you'll quickly become an expert at how to find and present information in a specific way that compels a result in your customers. Who does this? Almost nobody. Most people just think so much about, oh, I got to get an idea and then put that down on paper or record that in video format or whatever, and they focus on becoming a product creator. And I'm telling you to switch your focus on how to find and present information in a specific way that compels a result in your customers. Ideally, a result that happens right away, not a delayed result. This is an interesting insight on this from a customer of mine. He says, I was thinking about starting to create one of my products for quite a long time, but didn't know where to start. So the person was already thinking about it, but didn't know where to start. And then I gave them a simple way to start. One problem, one solution. And he says, I got my first product finished in just 2 days, but it was far from being a small report because once I started writing, I just wasn't able to stop. So with the right setup and circumstance, this individual who had been thinking about creating a product for a long time, knew he wanted to do it, already had access to information the way it was proposed to him. That's what made him take action. He says, I then went on to earn $700 within the first 24 hours of setting it up. At first, I wasn't expected to even earn more than $100, but everything that happened really blew my mind. I continued getting a few $100s a day in sales after that. Thanks a lot, Jason, for understanding the weaknesses that we have as marketers and sharing your time and knowledge with us. I share this, what Art has said with me, to impress upon you the point that I'm making. It's not just the information, it's how you present it that can compel action. But at the same time, I want you to have testimonials like this for your customers in whatever niche that you want to play in and make a difference. The system that I share with you is designed to pass the stranger test, where you could pull a complete stranger off the street, hand them over this system, and they can make thousands, tens of thousands, or more in less than 30 days with zero other advantage than the information product process, which is niche, problem, solution, system, action. Let's break down each of these elements. Niche. Characteristics of niches that are easiest to make immediate profits in are the following three characteristics. First, demand, obviously. You got to have people that want it and are passionate enough to purchase multiple info products related to a singular topic. See, everybody thinks they're in competition with everybody else. That's not how it works. If a customer really wants to solve a problem, they'll buy all kinds of different products from you and your competitors, even on the exact same topic. These are the niches where we want to play in. Because then all we got to do is deliver something better. And then they'll say, wow, that one person, that's who I like, right? Fractal. There are segments within segments within segments of specific customers who share unique commonalities. Why do you suppose fractal is important? Because by narrowing and specifically going after directly very specific segments of a marketplace, we can very easily and quickly get the attention and speak to them one-to-one almost. We can almost call them out by name. We can better serve exactly to their needs than other people simply because we go to them when other people aren't targeting these types of segments. So fractal is important to us. And proactive. We want to be in markets where they are actively seeking out and investing in potential solutions. As little as possible should we have to work to try to find them. More so, we should just be in a position where they can easily find us. Demand, fractal, proactive. Where can you start if you had no idea? Assuming that you have no idea even what a niche means by definition or have zero experience, where could you find these markets to where we can start breaking down the problems and offering solutions in a systematic fashion? There are 4 places that I use to easily uncover these niches. I will share one with you here today on this training. It's Amazon, which is kind of funny because at the end of the day it always seems to be Amazon, right? In this case, Amazon publishes a whole list of bestsellers in every single category that they have, and specifically in the category of books. These are all the different categories under books, lots of them. So if you click on one of those categories, like for example, I just clicked on cookbooks, food, and wine. Within cookbooks, food, and wine, which is a category, are several other subcategories. And then within those subcategories are even more subcategories. So baking is one singular subcategory within cookbooks, food, and wine, and then in baking there are bread, cakes, cookies, biscuits, muffins, and scones, pastry, pies, pizza. I'm getting hungry, right? There's also categories like this one, cooking by ingredient, and even categories such as this one, cooking methods. And these are just a tiny, tiny, tiny fraction of different specific categories that exist in one category under books on Amazon. We call these niches, we call these categories, I like to really call them markets. And with these markets, within minutes, with the right approach, you can find thousands upon thousands of such markets, brimming with segments of customers, many different types of segments of customers who are currently being underserved. When somebody is being underserved, that's an opportunity for you to serve them. And then if you serve them, that's how you make a lot of money. All right? Now, quick side note in here to impress upon you this formula that I'm going to break it down to you. My friend Ezra the other day says to me, he goes, Jason, I have never seen a more in-depth, detailed, well thought out, and consumable course outline in my life. Because I helped him work on a course product that he's creating, an information product. He says, I am consistently impressed with Jason's knowledge of information products. He knows how to create them, lay them out, and sell them better than anyone in the industry. If I have a question related to my information product business and I sell several $1 million worth of information each year, Jason is the person I turn to for advice. So we narrow things down specifically into niches, and now we start to look for problems. When it comes to problems, what we first attempt to do is identify potential problems using the dominant emotion approach. Every single problem stems from a major emotion, such as pain, such as loneliness, such as desolation. We have 6 specific pain points that we look for and analyze. Then we take those pain points to these problems and make them customer specific. And then when we're done, we have a list of potential problems that we can solve, and then we just simply choose the easiest way to solve and profit from one of those problems. Key insight. You want a list of potential products. You could, with no experience, easily design a solution that people would love to pay for. Not one, many. So that way you can choose strategically which one to go after first. So finding problems. Within our niche selection, in this case, our niche is cooking methods. One of the subcategories under cooking methods is something called budget. And so I asked myself, what are the fatal flaws in even the best products related to this single concept, which is budget cooking? That's the single concept. You follow? I say, what are the fatal flaws even in the best-selling, best-received products in this single concept? And then which of those flaws would be the easiest for you to fix? That's the second question. And lastly, where can you give customers an easy win related to a problem? So with minimum effort, with minimum thought on their part, just simply by showing them something, fixing a fatal flaw for them, they would immediately have some sort of impact, some sort of measurable, tangible, specific result. Do you see now, with the right approach, how we're able to do things most people cannot do? How with this approach, you are now going to be able to do things you never could do before, and most people never will be able to do. So let me show you a specific example if you would like. So within budget, here's the best sellers. Good and Cheap, Eat Well on $4 a day is the #1 bestseller currently on Amazon under budget cooking. So if you click on that listing, you see right there's the bestseller badge, and then we click on all their reviews. You might not know this, but you can sort reviews on Amazon specifically by all critical. So let's play the filter by critical reviews game for budget cooking product, the bestseller on Amazon. So here's one of the critical reviews that identifies a problem. I have 2 teenage growing sons or daughters in our family of 4. And making 4 eggs is not enough. Here's another one. It doesn't speak to the lack of equipment. Most families I know on Snap do not have food processors or immersion blenders, right? Here's another problem. I myself am not that picky of eater, and I've been trying to cook food that's good and cheap for a long time now, but as the primary cook in my household, there isn't much in here that would go over well if I prepared it for my family. Yeah, you and me both, right? Here's another one. The dinner section, in my opinion, is mostly side dishes, and most of the recipes that seem more like they would make satisfying meals are actually kind of expensive. Here's another one. I wanted to use this to help clients at our food pantry make their meals better, healthier, tastier, and more economical. So guess what we do? We break out the spreadsheet. This takes all of a few minutes, and maybe not for you the first time you do this. I have a little bit more experience with this than you do, so this might take you an hour or two. But isn't this so? Do you understand how exciting this is already? We're taking the best-selling product on Amazon related to budget cooking, and we are carving it up with flaws like Swiss cheese. And these are all targets where we can add value and service and find solutions for and package those solutions into information products. So, for example, potential problems. Family of 4, lack of equipment, picky eater, full meals, not side dishes, lots of pieces biscuits. Can't help for people that are going to the food pantry. That's 7. I could sit down and in 30 minutes have 15 to 30 problems that I identified. And by the way, what do I know about budget cooking? Until I put this presentation together, not a single damn thing. But I wanted to show you how systematic this approach is. So now that we got these potential problems, what do we do with them? Well, let me show you what to do with them. We take these broad problems and make them real. It's not enough just to identify a problem. That's not something that a customer cares too much about, that you've identified their problem. What do they really want? They want help with the problem that you have identified. And so before you can help somebody, you have to be empathetic to them. You have to appreciate what life is like for them in their shoes. Very important. I want you to take a second and lock that in, what I just told you. You have to be empathetic to your customer before you can help them. You have to feel the pain as they feel the pain, if you truly, truly want to help them. And that's really important, because once you feel that, the rest seems to fall into place. So let's make the problem real. You get specific, write the problem like a customer would say it out loud, and how they complain about it, draw an emotion, add personality to this, and do this for several related problems on this specific subject. What do you suppose happens if you do this just even a handful of times? Do you not immediately surge to the top in this respect of understanding the customer in a way that really nobody else in the market understands them? And you can do this on topics you know nothing about. What if you knew something about a little something about a topic? What could that be like for you? So here we go, back to the spreadsheet. So let's read these. This is important. So first potential problem, what about a family of 4? Specific problem. Is there something a full family could eat that everyone would enjoy and is inexpensive? So a customer would say, man, is there anything that exists out there that my family could all enjoy together that is tasty yet inexpensive? Here's another one, potential problem, lack of equipment. What could we do on the cheap that wouldn't require any special food processors, blenders, or anything beyond the super basics? What would that take, right? Third problem, picky eater. I either need lots of options or foods that would satisfy the largest number of palates. Full meals, not side dishes. If it requires me to starve, yes, I save money, but I am miserable. This is how we're identifying the problem more specifically and adding some emotion to it. So another big complaint was lots of pieces were missing when I went through the critical reviews. What is everything I need to know in advance of prepping my first meal so I can easily use every option and choice that you have available to me? That one there right there. Can't help food pantry. What would be easy for someone who was eating on a budget because they had to, not just because they wanted to? And by the way, that was a key insight I had in this market. A lot of people want to do budget cookings because they just want to be thrifty. But what about the people who have to do budget cooking because they'll starve otherwise? I was like, wow. That adds some dimension to it, right? So here's where we're at in the process so far. We've identified a niche just like that. We've identified several problems, and now we're starting to make these problems real to where we can feel them and really feel what the customer is feeling. And we've done this in a very expedited fashion, boom, 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 just like this. Now it's time to start focusing on the solution. You with me so far? By the way, good stuff? You getting something out of this? Have you picked up some key things already that you feel can improve your ability to make money online? Well, we're just getting started here, right? At the high level, this is how I always start the conversation in my head. What could you do that is super easy and only requires a slight alteration to someone's existing behavior yet could produce an extraordinary result? A slight alteration in somebody's existing behavior that could produce a dramatic result. Now, by the way, nobody really thinks like that. Who thinks like that? This is incredibly powerful for you as a product creator to think like that. We're not trying to completely change somebody's behavior. That's asking a lot. What's a tiny little slight thing we can do? I will never forget the time that this really rang true for me when I really understood this and locked this in. I'm in a $25,000 per person mastermind that I am running. So people have paid me $25,000 to sit in a room with me for a few days and go over their businesses. And I share with them one morning off the cuff, before we officially even begin. I say, hey, every time I wanted to learn a new skill, I would just block out 15 minutes in the morning, and while I drank my cup of coffee, I would just spend 15 minutes a day on that one specific new thing I wanted to learn, and that was it. And I said, I did that systematically over the span of 7 years, and here are all the different skills I picked up along the way. And I started sharing with them different skills I picked up, such as graphic design and Photoshop and other really weird stuff, just because I intellectually wanted to, but it also could come in handy in business. And then we go through a whole day, 9 hours of training, high level, very crazy, just, advanced as advanced can get stuff. And at the end of the day, we do a recap. What are you going to put into action? The most popular thing was that stupid, flippant, 15-minute-a-day thing in the morning. Why? Because it didn't require a dramatic change in behavior, just a slight alteration. And I locked that in and I said, whoa, how can I learn from this and apply this to products? Another way of looking at it, can you provide a solution that will have a meaningful and long-lasting benefit in their life? What can you do that would be very easy for them to implement, but would last for a very long time, the benefits of? How can you make it so the first time they try it, they get a measurable benefit, a measurable result, ASAP? This is how we start thinking about possible solutions. So now let's go back to the spreadsheet. Potential problem. What about a family of 4? Specific problem. What can we do? Is there any hope for us? Possible solution. Ask, contact, and research large families that eat on thin budgets. Ask, contact, and research large families that eat on thin budgets. Look at the second one here. What are alternatives to expensive kitchen gadgets that achieve the same results with only slightly more effort? What about the third one here? Find the foods that are the most universally appealing, organize them by cost, with the cheapest being first. So that way we could even help picky eaters. What are the most popular foods in the world? And then out of all those most popular foods, which ones are really cheap and reasonably healthy? Now we're getting somewhere, right? Here's another one. What foods trick you into feeling full without overeating? So foods that you just feel full even if you don't eat a lot of them. What are those? Can we identify those? What are cookbooks that people rave about as thorough and complete? What are their commonalities? To counteract that, I'm lost and pieces are missing. Let's see if we can identify patterns, and maybe we can tap into something for a solution for somebody here. Can't help food pantries. Here's an idea. Contact local food pantries. Get insight into creative solutions they and their frequenters use to eat cheaply and satisfactorily. Really, in any city, you go down to a food pantry and you spend 4 or 5 hours, you will be a freaking pro by the time you're done at this subject. And the next day you could write the book on it once you start thinking the way that I've shifted the perspective for you. So all we got to do is identify the problem, get specific with it, and then ask ourselves the right question on how we can potentially solve this. And I guide people through this when we do the training formally together. I'm just showing you what's possible right now in the short amount of time that we have training today to get you down the right path. Once we've identified possible solutions, now we translate those into hooks for potential products. Most people divorce the marketing from the product creation, and they do so at their own peril. Most of you are too compartmentalized. You think information product creation is one thing, and you think the selling is a completely separate thing. But why don't we do both at the same time? Let's save ourselves some time here and effort and get a better result. Are you open to that? Saving time and getting a better result? This is how we're going to do this. So before we ever create the product, we already have the hook for it. So I'll show you some examples of how I was able to translate those potential solutions into hooks. Tell me if you like any of these. Super cheap yet healthy foods that trick you into feeling full. You know how I had to come up with that? I just combined a couple benefits or a couple potential solutions. How about this one? Amazing cheap meals you can make in even the barren of kitchens. Didn't take much creativity to come up with that one, did it? You saw the source material. Now you're saying, okay, he's not that much of a genius. He's just really resourceful. How about this one? 5 on 5. How to feed families of 5 nutritious meals that cost $5 or less. See how we're carving up these segments, the fractal part of the market? Drilling it down. This is a scientific approach. There's not much creativity here. This is a system that you can use and follow. And we can go on and on and on and on. In an hour or two, you could have 10, 15, 20, 30 potential products with really good hooks, even if you're not that good of a marketer. And now you tell me, what's the likelihood of a product like this selling compared to the products and the approaches most people take? Even though we haven't put any more technique into it than this, you're 99% ahead of the game already. And we're just only really getting up and going here. And look how far you are already. We've talked about the niche, the problem, and the solution. This is the best part. The system of taking the solution and putting it into product format. By the way, you ready for this? Let me know you're ready. Give me some of your energy, because I want to feed off of it. Because this is very important that I teach you this correctly. Because if I don't give you the full value of this and the full understanding of this, it might not click with you in a way that can create change. And I want change to happen for you because I want to improve your quality of life. You ready for it? Here's the system. The system starts with three things. We first assemble the information so you can mold that into an information product. Then we outline that information in a way that compels immediate action and produces instant results for your customer. Assemble, then outline, and lastly create. The easiest part of this process is the creation part. Most people think the hardest part about creating a product is writing the words to it, or recording the words to it, or recording the videos to it. If you do it right, that is so easy, it's not even fun. The money is made in the assembly and the outlining based on the criteria that I'm showing you here. Important. Products are more than products. I want you to understand this because it should even help you further in your endeavors to make money online with information products. Products are more than products. Products, a synonymous word for product is asset. And assets can be leveraged. The very first product I ever created was 7-minute articles. How to write an article in 7 minutes. I sold it for $4. It was a 7-page PDF that by accident and luck more than anything, I stumbled upon the system for assembling, outlining, and creating information, and then I perfected it over the last 9 years almost. But also, not only was that a product that got my career started and made me a lot of money when I first launched it, it's also an asset. And I want you to take a look at this. I started selling this product in November 12, 2007 for $4 measly, and 8 years later, this thing is still making me money. 8 years later, $900 it made me almost last year. The year before that, it made me like $1,400. The year before that, it made me like $2,300. This thing, over the life of it, it's the gift that keeps on giving. Now imagine if you have 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 of these products. Now you are an unstoppable force. Even though something like a 7-minute articles product took me less than 2.5 hours to create. From scratch to finish. Products are assets. So let me help you assemble your first or your next asset. There are a few easy ways you can easily uncover or attract the information needed to craft together your solution. I have 4 very simple methods I'm going to share with you today to get you started. The first one is a resource probably nobody on this call is familiar with. It's called Reddit List. So at redditlist.com, it shows you the most popular subreddits. So for example, if I type in cooking to Reddit List, it's going to give me a list of all these different subreddits where people go and hang out and exchange ideas and vote up good information and vote down bad information. It's the ultimate filter of quality rising to the top here. And there's a lot of these different subreddits related to cooking. For example, I found one. This looks pretty relevant. Budget food. It's a whole subreddit around this, right? And specifically, not only do they have posts of people offering and sharing information freely, they even have this thing called a wiki, like a Wikipedia, only specifically a wiki for budget food. Food preservation chart, cheap, easy food chart, ramen upgrades. There's also a ramen subreddit, or ramen noodles, right? Recipe Key, Supercook, Chefs Do the Food Stamp Challenge, Good Food on a Tight Budget, Budget Food Compilation, 31 Healthiest Foods, Still Tasty, Shelf Life Guide, Budget Bites, Simple College Recipes, etc., etc. I like the ones down there. I have X dollars for the next X week. So for example, here's one I found. Temporarily Broke Student Request, 5-day menu on $20. 80 comments giving advice. This dude's 6'3", 225 pounds, soaking wet. Wants to know how to eat 5 days of food for $20. You think we might get good source material here? Something that we could potentially use as we assemble together our products, especially with the framework. We're not just focusing on giving information, because that already exists out there, but focusing on assembling it together in a way that compels action. And oh, by the way, One of my favorite things is on the sidebar of these subreddits where they say related subreddits, such as Eat Cheap and Healthy, Slow Cooking, Cheat Meals, Frugal, Recipes, Budget Veggie, Food Cooking, Student Food, and on and on and on and on and on. This is the way we do research. Other people still rely on just Google. Nah, we have people curate and find and identify the best. And they've already done a lot of the work for us. Now we're going to spin it, and we're going to add things to it to make it unique and powerful. But more important than the information is the framework which we're going to organize and present the information to compel action. Important. If the information already exists, what value are you providing? If nothing else, you're saving them hours or days of searching, and time is money. Plus, beyond compelling them to take action, there's more which we're going to go into a bit. Here's another way to generate content. Content should be packed with emotion. Without the proper emotional surcharge to your information, you run the risk of the user not connecting with you. So this is a technique that I invented called forum trolling. You go to a forum such as this cooking discussions forum that's very active, and you post a new thread in food and cooking, for example. The title is, "It's impossible to cook healthy without spending a fortune." And then you post something like this. Look, I have never seen any approach to cooking that claimed to be able to do for $5 a meal or less that actually worked. You either had a portion of food about the size of a raisin, or you needed $1,000 worth of cooking gadget or hours of time, which costs money. I would love to be convinced otherwise, because perhaps I am wrong, but I think it's just a lot of smoke and mirrors for people who want to sell me their cookbooks and other junk. Should I give up hope? If you post something like this in a forum, what do you suppose the responses will be? This is like offending somebody's religion. They will defend their position with zeal and fervor, and they will fight to prove themselves right, and you will allow them to. You will set up and engineer a situation that encourages that, and then you use the result to help you decide what makes the most sense to put in your information product. Pretty clever, huh? I'm a student of human psychology, which is one of the reasons why I can help people create information products from scratch and be extremely successful with them. When it comes to training programs, there's very few books that are good at educating how-to mainstream books, which is why so many people go to the internet and look at these weird, niche-y, I don't even know the person, but here's my money, here's my PayPal information, right? Kind of approaches, because mainstream books are not good at this stuff. There's only one exception, and that's for the table of contents. That's these For Dummies books. So you can go on Amazon and you can look in the table of contents for pretty much every single For Dummies book there are, and they straight up just give you all kinds of ideas and insights that can help you solve your specific problems that you've identified. You take a general approach and you slightly tweak it to a specific problem, and you're now creating value in a way that nobody else is. Now here's my absolute favorite. It's not required, but over time this one will make you the most amount of money. And for some of you, you can use this immediately. It's called personal experience. Remember earlier when I said go down to the food pantry, spend a couple hours, there's your product. Done. Here's the beautiful thing. Within confinement comes excellent. You ever heard of Parkinson's law? Task at hand expands to fill the allotted amount of time. That's called not working with a deadline. That's why it takes you forever to do anything. You put a deadline on it, all of a sudden you become more productive. By restricting yourself, you become more productive. That's a paradox, and I love it. So we create a confinement. We say, with this narrow, small amount of experience, how can I get insight that's going to be incredibly valuable to my customer? Then once you ask yourself that question, you sprint to the solution. You take a sprint, not a marathon, a sprint of a short, deep focus approach on a specific product or a specific topic or a specific problem with a specific solution to a specific market. Niche problem solution system. We've talked about the solution now, where we can go to get the source material to assemble it. Now we just got to have the system to outline it and create it. Now that you found a perfect niche to play in, you've identified several problems, you brainstorm potential solutions, you've turned one of those problems or one of those solutions into a powerful hook for a product, and you've assembled together the source material, the raw information, through experience, through forum trolling, through subreddits, through other creative means. Now it's time to put it into a product. I got a question for you. What's the easiest way for you to create that product? What's the easiest way for you to create that product? Here's the answer. You're going to utilize a framework that I have used for the hundreds of products I've created over the past, going on over 8 years now, actually. This framework can be used for every product you ever create, whether low ticket, high ticket, customer acquiring products, flagship products, anything and everything this framework can be applied to. And if you truly understand and get this framework, I guarantee you that wealth is absolutely going to come to you. For real. I swear to it. If you truly understand and get this framework, beyond any shadow of a doubt, you will become wealthy in this lifetime. That's how powerful this framework is. Now there's understanding it, and then there's really getting in deep with it. If there's anything that you should obsess over, it's this. Here's the framework. Purpose. Why? What? How? Doesn't look that impressive, does it? It's not on the surface, but don't judge books by their covers here. The purpose, the why, the what, the how. I started with this framework 7 years ago, and all I've done is every single day perfected it to the point of monomaniacal focus that I have a framework now that's at the DNA level that I can show and share and teach anybody who's serious about changing their future and helping other people change theirs as well. Purpose, why, what, how. Let's start with the definitions. Purpose. This gets the customer on the exact same page with you so they can immediately understand what to do ASAP. So many information products don't define the purpose of the content inside of them to the customer. So therefore, no wonder the customer gets lost very easily along the way. The purpose. Now, most information product creators don't actually define their own purpose when they create a product. And as a result, they create products on accident, not on purpose. So for smaller products, in just a few sentences, maybe a page at most, you take the time following my guidance to define the purpose in a way where the customer buys in immediately and is already immediately on board with you, has perfect rapport with you, and is now ready to go forward. We start with purpose. Next, we hit the why, specifically why it works. Here's the deal. A confused mind has trouble implementing. By giving them context as to why what you're about to show them works so well, specifically to the purpose at hand, immediately most of them will say, aha! They'll have an epiphany moment. We immediately give them clarity and insight that on its own will help them make progress. In most information products that are smaller ticket, there's just a couple pages at most, or a couple minutes at most. It's efficient, which is one of the reasons why it works so well, because it gets down to the essence. I think it was Churchill said, it takes me 5 minutes to do a 2-hour speech in terms of prep, but it takes me 2 hours of prep to do a 5-minute speech. Anybody can vomit information this way and that way. We are very judicious about what we put in there because our information in our information products, your information and your information product is made to compel action and to create behavioral change, which creates immediate results, right? Then you say, okay, Jason, I want to show them exactly how to do step by step next, right? Not so fast. First, we got to talk about what's involved. You ever go to a conference and somebody's using jargon and you don't even know what those words mean? I mean, I'm guilty of this. We're all guilty of this to some degree, and it's okay if we're speaking extemporaneously. But in a product, there's no excuse for that. So before you show them how to do it, you have to define the major players. This is where you introduce the vital few elements that will help them get the majority of the results related to the topic at hand. This is called the 80-20 rule, right? It's funny, everybody talks about 80-20 rule, 80-20 rule. 20% of your efforts get 80% of your results. Everybody gives lip service to that. But they don't live it. That's the difference between information that is intellectually stimulating and information that creates behavioral change. I absolutely live, breathe, eat, and sleep the law of the vital few, which in any situation, a few efforts influence the majority of the results. I'm going to show you how to identify those few elements in any information product you're going to create. So now you have just done the customer the favor. Even if the customer doesn't know what the 80-20 rule is, they're going to be a benefactor of it. They will benefit from it. Why? Because you've done the work for them in advance. You've identified for them in advance the vital few elements. That's all they need to focus on to get the majority of the results related to the topic at hand. We identify them and we define them for the customer. And by bringing these to the forefront and defining them up front, it makes it easier, much easier for them to feel better about it and to implement the instruction as a result. Then, and only then, do we give them the step-by-step. Then and only then do we give them the how. Any valuable concept can be presented and only should be presented one of two ways. Any idea in the world, there's two ways you can present it if you want to present it effectively. Just two. Not 600, just two. Do you see how I just broke down a vital few example for you in action? Just two ways. You either present the information step by step, first do this, then do that, then do this, then do that. Or you present it criteria-based. When coming up with this answer, here are the things that will factor into making a good decision related to this answer. Factor 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's it. And here's how you should go about making this decision. Once you take this, that, and the third into consideration, these will help guide you to make progress related to this thing at hand. That's it. Step by step or criteria. That's the only two ways that you should ever present information in your life. What am I doing today? I'm presenting step by step to you. Remember that? Niche, problem, solution, system, action. That's a step-by-step framework. By deploying this overall framework where we talk about purpose, then why, then what, then how, you'll be able to organize any information or experience you have and in hours, snap it all together in a product that is the easiest thing in the world for you to create and is designed to allow your customer to enjoy an immediate improvement in result. Now that you have a framework, don't you agree with me that all the source material that you've assembled to solve a specific problem, it's just a matter of putting the pieces in place? My kids can put puzzles together. It's not that hard. Once you have the pieces, putting the puzzle together is not that hard, right? These are the pieces for you to put your puzzle together. And you got options. You can use this framework to create what I call customer pulling products, where you make these little $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7 products that get you thousands of customers who will love you very quickly and say, what else you got for me? What else you got for me? Right? These narrowly focused, low-ticket products that customers will just gamble on saying, even if one idea comes out of it, it's a good investment. This will allow you to build customer lists and turn a greater product, a greater profit as a result than anybody that has a customer list. And often these products can be done in hours, or at worst, the first few times you do this, it might take a couple days. Then you'll get better at it, right? You got options. You can create flagship products that solve multiple problems. So if we really wanted to tackle multiple problems related to budget cooking or whatever thing that you've identified, now the framework is something that you can use for each module or each chapter or each session. So on lower ticket products, you use the framework for the whole product. On bigger ticket products, you use it for the modules or the chapters or the sections or the sessions of your product. And when you're done, you have something you could sell for $99, $199, $499, $999, $1999, or more. And it will also make you famous. You'll be that person that's the go-to person on the subject. Somebody says, I need help with blank. They say, you. They give them your name as the person that's the go-to on that, right? You got options. If you have experience, you can skip the framework altogether. Skip the information altogether, the gathering stage, and go straight to the framework. If you've already have experience on a topic or subject, and something you already know, and have expertise on something that can solve a problem, you just haven't put it in to work yet. You just haven't made it yet. For you, you don't have to gather information. Just go straight to the framework. Or, if you don't even have expertise, you can still skip the gathering of information and go to experts who already have the information, the experience, the insight, and the knowledge related to the problem. And then using the framework, and guiding them to give you the source material for the framework, you can deploy their knowledge and create a better solution for their customer than they could ever create on their own. And you can get paid so much for helping other people just organize their information in a cohesive fashion, and they can deploy that very fast to that customer base. Niche problem solution system. What's left? Just the trigger being pulled. Implementation. Action. What are you going to do today as a result of the insights I've given you? What are you going to do today as a result of this newfound approach to making money online? What are you going to do with it? How are you going to make this time different than any other time in the past when you came across a good idea? Because I guarantee you there's plenty of times in the past when you said, wow, it's a great idea, and then squandered it and did nothing with it. How are you going to make this time different? And what will it take for you once and for all to change your financial situation so you can become wealthy, helping many other people solve their problems easily and effortlessly? Remember earlier when I said I believe any problem can be solved by asking the right set of questions? These are some powerful questions because this is a powerful topic. This is your financial future. So we got to ask the tough questions, right? Now here's my concerns. When I look at you, I see someone who can electrify thousands upon thousands of individuals, and I've seen so many of you so often. I encounter you all the time. You're everywhere I go. You're my customers. I live, breathe, eat, and sleep you. I consume with thoughts of how I can serve you. And when I look at you, I see someone who can electrify thousands upon thousands upon thousands of individuals. And niche after niche after niche after niche. And market after market after market after market. And when I look directly into your soul, because that's how I do things, I see in you potential greatness. Potential greatness. Yet every day I see potential greatness wasted. Wasted. And it cuts deep into the core of my being. Potential wasted. It hurts. It hurts because you lose on profits. You also lose on the wealth of contribution. Your audience loses on relief. Your audience loses on resolution. Here's my dilemma. I have a great responsibility because I know that with the right combinations of words and actions, I can get you excited enough to invest in yourself, to better yourself, so you become a better self. However, if I falter even ever so slightly, I might miss you. I might not connect with you in a way that's going to create impactful, meaningful, long-lasting change in your life and in the lives of those around you. What do I need to do to get you to go in and do yourself and all those you can help a favor and empower you towards what I call inevitable success? Because here's what I know about inevitable success. The only failure here is doing nothing. What do you suppose is needed for you to believe in yourself like I believe in you? Perhaps you need the most detailed, specific, refined, and most optimized step-by-step training and instruction to create the most valuable types of information products. And I think I might just have that for you. And perhaps in addition to that, you need assets you can leverage to generate immediate income with minimum effort so you can easily justify your investment and your time. I think I just might have a situation where you can use some of my most prized assets exclusively. Yes, my assets you can use exclusively. And perhaps you need something backing you. So that way, as long as you make even the faintest sincere effort to work the system, you'll be guaranteed actual money in your pocket. No ifs, ands, or buts. I'm pretty sure I figured that out as well. And perhaps you need more than just information and the system and the approach and the software, the assets, the advantages, the money I will put in your pocket for your effort. Maybe you also need it set up so that it compels you into action simply with how it's laid out. And even if you barely do it right, it will still work for you right away. And then it just gets better every single time. Hey, I know I got that. And it's called Product E-Class Ultima. Product E-Class Ultima. My secrets in Product E-Class have changed lives. David says here, I have to say Product E-Class is one of the best online classes I've ever been a part of, and I've been involved in plenty of classes. Says I was afraid to make a product that didn't sell or sucked, and that was what was holding me back. And then all of a sudden he goes crazy. At the bottom there he says, since I've been in product making hyperdrive. This is the difference. We compel action. Listen to the language, product making hyperdrive. My friend and I attended affiliate marketing meetup in Los Angeles and pitched our product to them. I did a presentation about a 6-week course, which, you know, I teach people that, right? We created and landed $1,000 in sales that night, so within 7 days we've done $1,400 in sales. Hey, didn't get rich, but it's a pretty damn good start. The worst time you do it, the first time, you just get better. Paul says this, after Product E-Class, I immediately set about putting what I learned into action. This was in 2013. I've cleared over $150,000 in profit since. Then he says 2015 was my best year yet, and from my projections, 2016 is on course to see yet another increase. I attribute these successes to being a member of Product E-Class. And that's why when Jason announced Ultima, I signed up within seconds. Dr. Mandy says this, Dr. Mandy Kendall, Product E-Class was my catalyst for financial independence. Jason's teaching style makes it easy to develop the checklist and to take the next step of implementation. Product E-Class 2.0 was so good, and I reinvested in his next generation product, Ultima, knowing it will be astoundingly fantastic. Product E-Class Ultima. The first module is already in there waiting for you. It's pretty in-depth, just module 1. 37 plus videos, descriptions of each video, downloadable MP4 training, all the slides, everything laid out in a cohesive and simple, compelling, step-by-step action-taking methodology. It's all there, ready for you to start. Product E-Class Ultima. Hundreds of step-by-step videos breaking down product creation secrets that have helped me generate 8 figures per year online and have helped my customers sell over 9 figures of information products. This is my life work, distilled down to you in the most meaningful and powerful way possible. Product E-Class Ultima. It's not cheap. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's not cheap for the same reason a year at Harvard cost you $60,659. And there will be people who simply won't invest because of the price tag without considering the value. Just the price. They get so hung up on just the price, they forget to ask, well, what about the value? And it will be sad to see them go. But if they wither away, and price is the easiest challenge you're going to face, then so be it. And if you're still with me, what you are saying is you want to know from me the following. Here's what you want to know. If you're still with me right now, this is the question you have on your mind. Jason, how are you going to make it so that whatever I invest, I will easily and quickly get many, many times that back? Here's what Product E-Class Ultima is worth. $1 million plus. For how many lives have been changed and how many millionaires have came out of this course. The highest ticket product I've ever sold is $25,000, and we have a waiting list for it currently, actually. We've had people come and spend 2 days in masterminds with us for $12,900. I've sold thousands of units of products that are $4,997 in price. And at $1,999.95, Product E-Class Ultima is an incredible, absolutely steal of an amazing deal. It's worth every penny. It will be something you'll be able to use for the rest of your financial endeavors and the rest of your life. And it will open up doors for you to riches that are beyond your wildest imagination. It will awaken in you an ability to leave the world better than it was before you entered it. Better than it was before you entered it. $19.99.95 is not how much, it's more of how soon before you start making way more than that in return for your investment. Here's the deal. Since you've already invested by watching with me up to this point, I'm going to hook you up with a time-limited, one-time-only discount to blow the doors of Product E-Class Ultima. When you sign up below, if you sign up fast enough, you can get in for just one single installment of $999.95 or 4 installments of $279.95 at producteclass.com producteclass.com/now. As in, go there right now. producteclass.com/now. Choose the installment option. I don't care which one you pick. Doesn't matter to me. Just do the needful. Let's get in right now, because the sooner you get in, the sooner we can get down to business. When you sign up, here's what you're going to have now at your disposal. First of all, immediately available to you is the intro model. I call this model inevitable success. This is where we start. We start with what's between your ears. I'm going to show you some simple mind tricks I figured out to immediately get you into a state of productive value and to produce value. I set expectations. I will show you exactly how to calculate, down to the penny pretty much, how much your first information product will make or your next information product will make. It's very clever. It's something we did specifically to do $15 million in revenue last year. Baseline tech. I'm going to show you exactly everything to do to set up a product and sell it. So even if you know nothing about the internet, you will be able to have a product with a buy button on it, just like that. That's already waiting and available to you in the intro module. Also immediately available to you. As soon as you sign up at producteclass.com/now is the first module called the new 111 formula. One problem, one solution, one sitting products. I invented that. You might have heard other marketers use that terminology. Trust me, they got it from me. I'm going to show you the easiest way to immediately turn Product eClass into a profit center, to make more in a very short period of time than what you paid to get in here. My whole focus on this, since I control your complete destiny, since I created the whole course myself, is I want you to make money immediately. So that way this thing will pay for itself immediately. I'm going to show you how to create a product in a matter of hours that automatically has traffic and conversion built into it. And then we anchor that formula, that framework, so you can therefore use it and improve on it from every product that you create from here on out. Here's what Costas says. I said, so you immediately hit it right after session 1, right? And I like what Costas says here. He goes, I had 2 product ideas. The one I created, which I know exactly why it was shaky and why it didn't work, and then another one that I wrote down that was something that I aligned with more, but I put it off. It was the second product that just totally blew everything out of the water. Just the sales compounded over the course of a week. I remember I was traveling at the time. I had just launched my product. I was trying to get Wi-Fi as often as I could. I was refreshing my email, seeing these little PayPal things. I had made $4,000 the first 24 hours without even being around doing anything. So that was absolutely awesome. To me, that was like hitting a grand slam right out of the gate. Costas had never created an information product before me. And the first week he created 2. One didn't work, but the other one did. And that's okay. Maybe the first time just gets you closer to the second time, which is when you hit. And then you hit big. And then Costas turned this into a dynasty after that, just from the first module. What about module 2, the expert knowledge of others? Now that you understand the framework and how to structure information, you can now take other people's information and make a fortune with it, working together with them. If there ever was an easier way to make 5 figures immediately, I have never found it. When you combine this with the foundation of Module 1, you will be an unstoppable profit force. This is how Kieran got his start. I took the last dollars Kieran had to his name. Because he says to me, Jason, should I sign up for Product eClass? And I said, listen, if you're going to sign up and think some magic's going to happen, and that's all you got to do, then don't. But if you're going to sign up and just listen to what I tell you and do exactly what I say, this will be the best possible way you could ever invest the last dollars you have to your name. And he did this, and he generated $2,000 in his first 30 days. Then he generated $12,000 in 3 months. Then a second product generated $5,000 in 7 days, all from the approach that we show you in Module 2. Module 3, the publishing model. This has double benefit for you. First, you can either take somebody's existing content and republish it in a way that they will love you for and that you will be compensated, or if you're starting out, you're the person who has the unique and powerful knowledge that under the right circumstances people would love to pay for. And here's a way you can tap into business that already have customers you'd like to reach, and you share the profits. So Anil took the foundation of this information, and he sent me this message on my birthday. It says, meeting you through Product E-Class last year really opened new perspectives for me. Magic happened, made everything easier, faster, and smoother. I'm grateful I took the decision at a time where money was an issue and every penny of it was precious. I'm thankful for your double your money back guarantee that made me jump ship and join, and I've way more than doubled my investment. If you recall, one email sent during the program made me 5,000, what is that, euros? And a licensing deal for another 2,000 euros. I saw an email from him a couple years ago, said $19,000 since joining Product E-Class. That's what he net profit made. This is all new stuff. Module 1, 2, and 3, all brand new material. Everything in it unique and new from my experience over the last 4 years, which when the last Product E-Class was created was 4 years ago. All of it is now new, up to the moment, more groundbreaking than ever. Module 4, product pitching secrets. The first few products you're going to create, you don't even need to know how to pitch them. They'll still be able to sell themselves. Then once you get some experience, though, it's time for us to kick it up another notch, to supercharge conversions and your profit-getting capabilities. I will reveal the secrets to how I was able to generate almost $15.8 million when you round it up in 2015, using every single of these secrets to help me sell these products. Secrets such as what Maddie sent here. He says, I spent 8 hours creating an information product because he was using my method. And at the end of 24 hours, he had 272 sales, over $4,500 in sales that generated, and copy that converted at 19%. You'll get that stuff too. Module 5, brand new module of training, unlimited traffic to your info products. Each product creation module prior already had a traffic mechanism built into it. However, if you want to go high 6 figures, low 7 figures, or beyond, you're going to need additional traffic. So you can get to low and mid 6 figures with just the tactics and the traffic mechanisms built into the previous module. But then we'd want to kick it up a level. Here's the reality. The easiest way to ever get traffic is to have info products, especially once you know the specific approach that we take. Module 6, flagship products. Here you'll discover how to build products for $499, $999, $1,999, or even more. And it's only slight adjustments on all the stuff that you've learned up until Module 6 to make that happen. And it will make you the go-to person for any topic that you want to sit down and say, this is my flagship product for. Module 7, affiliate product creation. Little known fact, Rapid Crush Inc. holds the record for the biggest affiliate promotion of all time. The only way that this happened was we discovered a product creation breakthrough that we applied specifically to affiliate promotions. And once I reveal this to you for the first time in all its glory that it's ever been revealed, you'll discover why half the time you create information products, it's going to be for affiliate promotions. It's very clever. It's going to give you an advantage nobody else will have. Module 8, low touch, no touch continuity. If you're making any amount of money online and don't have a continuity program in place, you're losing so much money it's almost offensive. I don't care if you're making $2,000 a month right now. You could practically double that almost overnight with what you're going to learn in Module 8. I'm going to show you how in this module leverage any sales, any action you produce from the previous modules and magnify this. Instead of the normal $1999.95, which others will invest for Product E-Class Ultima for a very limited time, as long as you act before the page expires at producteclass.com/now, you can get in for one installment of $999.95 or 4 installments of $279.95. Plus, when you sign up, you're also going to get these brand new bonuses. Bonus number 1, product case studies. I already have 3 recorded and waiting for you, specifically showing you exactly what we do in Module 1. Not a single thing I teach you in Product E-Class is theory. In every module, I have specific products where I will demonstrate specifically and exactly how I apply the techniques that I'm teaching you. So not only do you learn and see the framework in action, I can point you to example after examples. Yes, you'll see me reveal thousands of dollars worth of retail products where I sell these products in the real world. I will reveal the inner workings and content to you and break down how I approached them, how I organized them, how I created them, how I released them, and all the other strategic information that's important. So you see the idea of the step-by-step approach, and then you see the implementation in the real world. We have so many of these product case studies, you're going to love them. Bonus number 2, MemberPod. You say, Jason, what's MemberPod? Well, here's the deal. Nobody's ever seen this before. Every product you sell should have a membership site attached to it. So did you notice earlier when I showed you inside my Nanocast account, I had 889 products? It didn't say products, it said 889 memberships. Every customer should get access to a membership site after they purchase a product from you. The better you lay out the membership site, the happier your customers are going to be, and the more money you'll make. And there is no easier way to do this with our brand new exclusive WordPress theme called MembersPod. So within MembersPod, you will easily be able to lay out all of your curriculum via PDF, audio, video, or what have you. Point, click, done, done, done. You can organize modules and lessons like you see here on the left-hand side. It gets better. Inside of there, we have a MemberPod setting where you can set up your modules, your lessons, and other settings. And you can specifically say this module is on the home page. You're going to update homepage settings, going to set it to this time zone. We're going to organize the lessons, and we can drag and move and drop and do whatever we want to them. And here's what I really love. We can set when we want to release certain modules. So we can release them immediately, or we can release them after a certain amount of time, and we can show them a message before you release your products. And of course, you can customize all kinds of stuff. Logos, header settings, footer settings, menus, schemes, widgets with specific widgets we built for you, advanced controls, and more. When somebody logs into your member site, see how it says Bruce Lee at the top, right-hand corner? Their name is going to be there. Whatever your customer's name is when they log into the members area for the product that they purchase from you, their name is going to be right at the top. Isn't that cool? This is going to help you deliver your information products in a way that gets customers excited and more willing to take action upon them and get a result. Bonus number 3, fill in the blank almost everything. You say, Jason, I want to do this, that, and the third. I say, cool, I've already done it. Not only have I already done it, I've templatized it. Not only have I templatized it, I made it fill in the blank for you. Sales letters, upsells, video presentations, emails. All this and more can be made in a fill-in-the-blank style so you can super easily modify my best tried-and-true marketing and content creation templates for your own benefit. Almost everything I do and run my business by has been systemized and runs off templates that, for the most part, you can use over and over and over again for any situation and any market, for any product, at any price point. Now, at last, I will share these with you. Bonus number 4. If you want to launch your product and create some buzz around it, not only will we show you how to do that, we will give you a theme to help you with that. This is called the product launch theme. It's got squeeze pages, sales pages, social integration, schedule and release, pre-sales contents, and pre-launch content over a period of time. If you've studied every product launch that was successful, you'll notice a pattern. Now, naturally, how to create the content is important, and we cover that in Product E class. However, you need a website that can utilize this pattern if you ever want to do a launch. And now we've made it push button for you. So, for example, it comes with a squeeze page. You can easily configure that when somebody clicks on this to get started, it pops up and grabs their name, and they put their information in. And then you can have a wonderfully, beautifully laid out, here's the first, second, third, fourth video. You can say when it's available. You can make it not available today, available tomorrow. You can put downloads with it. You can put videos in there. You can put all kinds of content in there. The Launchimizer. This is our patent pending technology. Well, we can do all kinds of magical stuff with promotions and releasing launch sequences and so on and so forth. And again, customize headers, footers, menu, widget area. Bonus number 5, mystery software. I cannot tell you what it is yet, but I broke my checkbook out and I wrote a check on your behalf so you would not have to buy this, which I think is essential for you to be successful with product creation, and that's why I bought it for you. Now, as of now, I cannot disclose this because the agreement with the vendor that we licensed this from, so I can only titillate you with the potential here, so you have to take my word for it. We got to keep it quiet to the public because many people have paid a lot of money for this powerful software, which you get for free as a Product E-Class Ultima member. So sign up now, and instead of paying the normal $19.99.95 for a very limited time, if you act quickly, you can get it for one installment of $9.99.95 or 4 installments of $279.95 at producteclass.com/now. So go ahead, open the browser, go to producteclass.com/now and sign up, and I'll do you one better. I can guarantee that before you reach Module 8, you will have 3 products that you can sell. I guarantee it. You know why? Because I'm going to give you 3 brand new exclusive, first ever information products that I personally have created that you can sell and keep 100% of the profits on. No joke. These are brand new products. The first one will be available to you between modules 2 and 3. The next one will be available to you between modules 4 and 5, and the last one will be available to you between modules 6 and 7. So actually by module 7, you will have 3 unique products that I will personally be creating for you with 3 unique sales letters and the rights for you to sell these and keep all of the money yourself. Keep all the customers and all the leads yourself. The full reseller rights information will be available and released to you in the members area when you get your hands on these reseller products. And I'll give you a little taste. The first product that you're going to get that you'll be able to use personally and benefit from, as well as if you wish to sell and keep 100% of the profits, is how to keynote and PowerPoint like a pro. Have you noticed my PowerPoint slides today? They're pretty neat, aren't they? Well, I have a whole system that can show you how to do exactly these, even if you're the worst graphic designer in the world, or even if you know nothing about Keynote or PowerPoint. I'm going to walk you through the system of how we create PowerPoints for webinars like this one and for products like the one in Product E-Class. So now you're going to also learn how to do that. And if you wish to, you can sell this course and keep 100% of the profits. This is just one of 3 high-quality, brand-new trainings I'm going to be personally creating all by myself that I'm going to give to you to let you sell and keep 100% of the profits. And if you don't want to sell them, that's okay, because you will benefit from them just by consuming them on your own when you go to producteclass.com/now and sign up and get in at the special rate of either $999.95 or 4 installments of $279.95. And when you do sign up at producteclass.com/now, here's how success is certain for you. Because if you don't make more than $2,000, I'll put that much in your pocket. I believe if you make a big claim, you should also do a big guarantee. And I've made a big claim today, so let me do a big guarantee. First of all, we have your regular guarantee, which is 0 risk. Even if you do nothing, you can get your money back within the first 30 days, no questions asked, just by trying it out. If you don't like it, you don't like it, no problem. Just contact support, let them know you risk 0 time and money with this first unconditional guarantee just to take a look on the inside, which I recommend you do no matter what, because you don't really know what's waiting for you beyond the pitch today until you get into the product, which you do at producteclass.com/now. Even better, do this. Put the course into action. Trust me, you'll want to. Now here's the deal. Anytime you take action, there's always risk involved. The risk is your time. Since this requires some of your time, I want to protect that time, and I want to make sure you're compensated for that time. So here's how this works. If you create 2 unique products based on 2 different modules, and you can honestly tell me you didn't double your investment within 90 days, then I will give you double your money back. Now the full details on this double your money back guarantee can be found when you go to the web page URL below at producteclass.com/now and sign up, which for a limited time you can get for just 1 installment of $999.95 or 4 installments of $279.95 at producteclass.com/now. This is what I like about Costas. Here's what he said to me. He says, by the time I was introduced to your course, I was already pretty jaded because I had made a bunch of investments that didn't pay off. So once I made the decision to get it, it wasn't easy. It was like a threshold that I had to make to part with the money. Interesting language choice, right? Part with the money. He goes, but once I made the decision, I was like, okay, I'm actually going to show up. I'm going to make the commitment. I'm going to do whatever Jason says. You know what? Karen told me the same thing. Karen says, I'm going to do whatever Jason says. Now here's the scary thing. If you just follow me blindly, I'm either going to lead you down a very wrong path or I'm going to lead you down a very good path. It's challenging because you never want to truly blindly follow anybody. And I don't know if that's the real answer or not, but Costas said, related to this subject, if Jason tells me to do it, I will just do it. I won't question it. I won't worry about it. I won't deliberate on it. I won't think about it. Inside Product E-Class, if he says do it, I do it. $1 million. Costas, I do it. $1 million. I don't know. You be the judge. Now, here's what Costas said. He says, it wasn't easy making this decision. And I worry because Costas made the decision, but I guarantee you there were others that were just like Costas who could have been what Costas is who did not make the decision to do it. And I know we'll have that happen here. I just don't want you to be one of those people. I don't. I want you to be one that says, yes, I'm in, Jason. Why? Because I'm risk-free. Because of the double your money back guarantee, because of the no questions asked, I just want to take a look guarantee, because I'm giving you 3 brand new products, which on their own will easily cover your tuition. What to speak of all the information and all the insight and all the assets and all the leverage points that I've set up to be beneficial to you. You say, well, Jason, I'm just concerned about maybe the additional cost because, hey, there's got to be more to it than just the tuition that I'm using to sign up for Product E-Class at producteclass.com/now. And I said, okay, maybe. Well, let's analyze it. Now, don't get me wrong. There will be additional costs besides the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things you see on your screen. But all those additional costs will be out of profit. And that will be a decision you can make on whether you want to put more money back in to put more money back out or not. That's all dependent on your personal goals. But yes, you will need a domain. You can go with something cheap like a .cc or a .info. I think those run about $3 or $2, right? If you want to get thorough, you get a .com domain. Now, for the first 3 years I was on business creating information products, it was always jmfladd.com/7-minute articles, jmfladd.com/3-hour ad, jmfladd.com/instant expert, jmfladd.com/whatever. I had one domain, and every slash was a new product. I ran a whole business for years on one single domain. Hosting. You can get a very small hosting package up front for less than $5 a month. I recommend you go with the $19.95 per month hosting, so that way you can be prepared in advance for all the new customers you're going to be getting. But hey, if you want to start with $5 a month, you can start with $5 a month, right? Autoresponders. You can use something free like MailChimp, which has some limitations, but hey, it's better than nothing, right? Or you can put $19.95 in and get something good like Aweber, for example, or GetResponse or whatever, right? Software. You don't need any software. Any software that you would want to use, you can consider investing out of profit, or it's software that you already own. So therefore, you don't need to buy it again, right? But everything that you need to go from a technical perspective, from an automation perspective, is already available to you within Product E-Class. Advertising. You can start with $0 if you wish to. There are many ways to get customers that require $0 of upfront advertising cost. Or if you want to just double, make sure that you're going to get some traction, you can put $100 or less into some advertising and see what happens, right? Are there other costs? Probably, but all of those are extracurricular and way above and beyond what you would need to be purely in a powerful position of profiting with Product E-Class, which is at producteclass.com/now. Now, most of you already have a domain. Most of you already have hosting and an autoresponder. So now there really is nothing else other than fear that would hold you back from saying yes. And if fear is the case, I understand it, and I appreciate it, and I empathize with it, because, hey, I was scared too. Don't think I wasn't scared. When I invested in myself, which was a lot more than what I'm asking you to invest today, the first product I ever created, 7-minute articles, I sold that thing for $4. Why? Because I was scared. That's why. Because I said, why would anybody want to know anything that I have? I was scared. Why would anybody want to pay me any money for anything that I have? I was scared. It's not about not feeling scared. It's about understanding that fear is a natural impulse in response. That means you're a normal human being. That means you're functionally okay if you're feeling the fear. I get it, right? So we can appreciate and respect the fear, but don't let it limit you. I'm not asking you to climb Mount Everest here, which has a mortality rate of like 20%, right? I'm asking you to make a small down payment today into your future that is fully refundable if you want it back within the first 30 days. I'm asking you to take the last 8 years of my life that I have synthesized down into the core essence and used it to leave this world a better place than it was before you came into it. This is what I'm asking of you. I'm asking you right now to go to producteclass.com/now. And let's make 2016 the year where everything changes for the better. The year that you can look back on, like I look back on 2007. I look back on 2007 and said that was the year for me. Everything changed. In 2007, I went from $12 an hour house painter living with dad, 2-room apartment next to the pawn shop, right above the consignment shop, the sometimes consignment shop, working, painting houses that I would never be able to think I could afford. Brand new construction, $200,000 houses. I said, wow, if I could get myself one of these, things would be completely different, right? And then I sat down and said, you know what? If things are going to be different, I have to be different. And what can I do to be different, to be better than I was? And that's when I made the decision to get into the information product business. And I made my first product in November of 2007. That was the year for me that everything changed. I want 2016 to be that year for you. I want you to tell the story to somebody and say, you know what? I can tell you when everything turned around for me. 2016. Because that's when I made the decision to be an information product creator the right way, the way that Jason showed me. And I will tell you this, as much as I like to claim genius, that I had some master plan at figuring all this out, it was as much luck as it was anything. And I'm not ashamed to admit that. I hit upon a formula that just worked the first time I created an information product. And then, once I hit that formula, the only thing I did that required intelligence was I recognized the power of it. And I doubled down on it and became a madman at monomaniacally perfecting it over the last 8 years. And to give you my life's work for less than $1,000 or for 4 installments of $279.95, I think you know what you need to do. Get in right now, producteclass.com/now. Let's make things happen. Now, I'm going to attempt, first of all, I'm going to attempt to get my breath back here. And I believe I've unmuted John S. Rhodes, too, as well. The GoToWebinar of Doom has hit us, mainly because we were up to 1,000 people on this call earlier. John, let's see if we can get some ground communication to your end. Do you hear me okay? Can you respond?
I hear you okay. Can you hear me okay, Jason?
I can hear you more than okay, my friend. I am going to regain my composure here because when I believe in passionately in something like this, I'm not just a marketer, right? I'm a preacher. And it takes a lot out of me to put myself out there for it. So as I regain composure, John, I would love for you to kind of give us all an update on the pulse, the questions, the comments, the excitement, the timidity, all the stuff that's been wrapped around these new concepts that we've introduced over the last 1 hour and 43 minutes together.
Yeah, I'd love to do that, Jason. So one of the most amazing things is that your energy is infectious, but I'm seeing a different kind of energy than I've ever seen before. It's really, really something because we've gone through a system that anyone can follow. We've gone through a system that anyone can do starting today. Now, if you want the additional assistance, if you want Jason's direct help through Product eClass Ultimate, it's very, very straightforward. We've dropped the link in a couple of times for you, producteclass.com/now. Take action on that. But Jason, there's some really, really great comments here, some really great questions. One of the things that I thought was great is you had mentioned earlier, the Ivy League education, and very straightforward, right? So it was, hey, your stuff is better than what is taught in Ivy League schools. There's a very specific reason for that. That's because it's actionable. Obviously, you are very, very passionate, Jason, and that has an effect on people. They feel energized. The exact same energy that you have poured into this webinar is also in the training itself. So it's like mainlining, right? It's like right into the veins. If you want to get energized, about a business, about a product, about what you can do next, you log in. Obviously, you've invested. So when you've made that investment, and you're on the inside, and you get that training again from Jason, you get the excitement again, but also the how-to. So Jason, an awful lot on that, about the energy and the excitement, and then also the head slapping. Really incredible. There's a question here I thought was just fantastic, and it's one of these questions that's it's kind of negative, but it's really not. The question is, aren't info products an old idea? Aren't they like a 10-year-old idea? In fact, it goes back thousands of years, actually, Jason, wouldn't you say? And what do you have to say to that about this being an old idea?
Religious texts, all the way back to the Vedanta, are information products, really, right? So information products have been around as long as information has, and that's why you should be excited about this. Because at the end of the day, if you really want to do an analysis, and I thought about putting this in the presentation, I didn't have room in it, but look who is now creating information products who never was before. And it will blow your mind how many people. Richard Branson creates information products. He's a billionaire, and he creates information products. We promoted Damon John the other day. Remember that, John? I mean, you know, I've got to the level now where we sit in the same room as guys like Damon John. Damon John asked me for the favor, promote my information product, right? The beautiful thing is everybody's finally realizing, and I think Amazon, specifically Kindle ebook reader, it revolutionizes business for us. And I'm not saying you go and sell on Kindle. You can if you want to, right? I personally don't, but I know a lot of people who have done very well on that. But what I'm saying is the mainstream appeal to information products is at an all-time high. Yet at the same time, there's never been a greater misunderstanding of how to create the information product than there is right now currently. Why do you suppose that is, by the way? John, if you had to guess why that is, I'd be very interested in your insight. John and I have not rehearsed this, so I don't know what John is going to say. But John, if you had to guess why there's a greater misunderstanding right now in terms of how to make the proper kinds of information products, what do you think it would be attributed to?
I think a lot of people see information as being free and easily accessible, and they equate the freeness and the easy access to a lack of value a lot of times. And you really hit on that very, very well, Jason, in terms of the packaging, bringing things together in exactly the right way. And I saw a lot of comments about that, because you can hit Google. You can kind of surf around. You can hit Facebook and get ideas, and you can have opinions very, very quickly shift as well. And it feels kind of interesting and good, but it feels free, and it's like, so you discount that. That's one of the key things that I see, Jason.
So yeah, it's funny because we are now drowning in our awash in information. And so in the past, information as itself was the prize. I remember there's times when I first learned how to do marketing, John, where if there was a sacred marketing text, a book or whatever, you either bought it off of eBay for $500. We're talking just a regular paperback book, right? Or you found some interloan library program in the middle of obscurity, and you drove 4 or 5 hours to it to read that book, right? And this is back in 2007. So this isn't back in 1987, right? This was back in 2007 where this occurred. And now those same texts, half of them are free ebooks that you can just Google and find for free, right? So it's funny because we're now awash in information. In the past, just information alone was the prize. Nowadays, because customers are awash in information, heck, Facebook is information. Now the value is how do you disseminate and distill and frame that information in a way that changes behavior. 1 out of maybe 1,000 product creators even realize that their whole goal of an information product is to specifically alter somebody's behavior. Isn't it crazy? But that's the purpose. And so now, here's the wonderful thing. In the land of the blind, the person with one eye, even if it's lazy, even if the eye suffers from some degenerative thing, if it can see, they're king or queen. That person with one eye rules. If you are 1 inch taller than everybody else in the crowd, you stand out. You might as well be 1,000 feet taller if you're an inch taller. And that's what we do here. we take, and no, that's actually not the full story, John. Here's where it gets even better. Because information is easier to obtain than ever before, it's even easier for us to find that information and package it correctly. So there has never been a greater misunderstanding. And guess what happens when people make fortunes? It's when markets are disrupted. That's when people make fortunes. And now here's a market disruption that you can take advantage of. Or not. I mean, it would break my damn heart if you sat here and say, maybe next time I'll do it, right? So, no, this is way too important for a next time. That's like saying I got a sharp pain in my chest. It might be a heart attack, but it might not. Maybe next time it hits, then I'll decide to do something about it, right? There is no next time. And I know I hear John laughing there because part of it is kind of silly when you put it that way, but it's serious stuff here, right? There is no next time. If you say next time this time, you'll say next time every time. No. This time. Don't just take my word for it, though. Take my word enough to take a step forward. That step forward is at producteclass.com/now. And then once you take that step forward, then see for yourself on the inside. Does my pitch really match the product? Does the value I promise really come to fruition? Now here's the really cool thing. I showed this to John. I've also screenshot and foreshadowed exactly how I created Product eClass Ultima itself. Like, so this will be very meta, a product within a product. I'm going to show you how I made this product as we go through it and you follow the product. And, you know, I didn't start there, man. It's amazing to me. When I started, it was just a mind map. That was it. And then over time, you get better and you get better and you get better and get better. So you can reinvent the wheel if you want to, but I don't recommend it. Just follow me as I reinvent the wheel, because at the end of the day, I will give you every marketing advantage in the world. I'll give you better copywriters than me. I will give you better traffic generators than I. I will give you all those advantages. I just want one. I want the advantage of the information product creation techniques that I have, and I will beat you. I will beat you every single time with that technique. You know why? Because all I need is one customer for every 10,000 customers you get. Because the way we're going to put these products together, we're going to create changes, and when you create changes, you create movements. And when you create movements, you create momentum. And when you create momentum, that's when you become that 1 inch taller than everybody else. That's when you stand out from the crowd. That's when the tipping point happens. That's when the avalanche kicks in. That's when you go from 2007, $0 to 2016, $15 million. Not $15 million in 9 years, $15 million in the last year. Because when the time is right, as you were building your fortune, eventually there's going to hit a time where you can cash in and the windfall will hit for you. It's happened every single time I've ever seen anybody follow the system. And it will happen for you as well. As long as you listen to what I say and implement and do as I show you at producteclass.com/now.
There's a very specific question related to being successful, Jason. I think it's a very fair question. You did allude to the answer. I'm like, there it is. And I was waiting for you to continue on. And at that point, I saw a couple of questions come up about this. How do you get traffic to your product? And it was asked a couple different ways. It was also asked, how do you market your product? I think it's worth going into that so folks feel very, very comfortable about the product they're going to create, knowing that people are, in many cases, desperate, absolutely desperate to buy that product that someone has just created in a matter of a few hours.
Yeah, I love that question, by the way. Let me show you with an example here. You don't take a baby and teach them how to dance. You don't immediately take a newborn baby and says, let me show you how to tango, right? The first thing you do is you teach them how to sit up. Then you teach them how to stand. And then you teach them how to crawl. And eventually they walk. And then they might run a little bit. Skip, hop, and jump. And then eventually they might want to dance, right? So most of you want to dance when you can't even crawl yet. You want all the traffic in the world, you want all the conversion in the world, and you want to create all the information products all at the same time. And you wonder why you're struggling, right? Well, here's the reality. When we start We build just one and focus on one thing first and foremost, and that is the product. But here's the beautiful thing. Just go back to the example I showed you earlier. Remember how I said we put the hook right in the product? I snuck in the marketing for you without you even having to be aware of it. That's how you create your products. Using my framework, things will sneak into customers that will empower them in ways that their competition can't. And so the hook is one of those ways that we do that. The other thing is this. It's a very, very simple. If everybody is going into a marketplace and yelling, hey you, hey you, hey you, to everybody that they're trying to get the attention of, and you walk in and say, hey John S. Rhodes, he looks at you. He doesn't look at anybody else, right? And so all your competition is saying, hey you, because they're all selling the same thing at the same way, with the same tone, with the same approach. But by being different, whatever traffic I show you, and I will show you plenty, don't worry, and whatever traffic you've already been exposed to, and trust me, you've seen a lot. You've seen Facebook, you've seen Google, you've seen joint ventures and affiliate marketing and all the commonplaces. It's not so much some magical trick as it's so much having that thing that calls the person out by name. Since the first products we create very narrow in focus. Did you see the examples? We went from not just cooking. We went to budget cooking. And we didn't go just to budget cooking. We went to things like budget cooking for people with families of 4 or more. Budget cooking for people with families of 4 or more, with a powerful hook already built into it. How hard do you think it is to get attention if you run a Facebook ad that says, hey, this is only for people who have families of 4 or more and want to know how to prepare meals that cost $5 and less and are healthy and nutritious? Do you suppose in that situation it's going to be hard or easy to get traffic? And that's one of a million different factors. Another one is this. When customers get excited about your product, they almost always will turn you on into some place you can go to show more people. So your hardest challenge is getting 1 customer, or 2, or 3, or 5, or 10. And then you get the customer, and the customer gets you the rest. That's how I started. First 3 years in marketing, John, I had a list of 1,700 people. That's it. And we were doing $50,000 a month with 1,700 people. I know guys with lists, and you know them too, John. We know the same guys. A list of 200, 300,000 people. I'm not making this up, am I? They have lists of 300,000 people, and they can't do 50,000 a month.
Right.
The difference is the product. Give me the product, and I'll give you every other advantage, and I'll still win at the end of the day, because the product will compel the audience. The product will call the audience by name. The product will make people want to give you exposure. The product already has the hook built into it. And I give specific examples in Module 1. You will love this. In Module 1, I say, hey, do you understand how they have a product like this? This is your pitch. Your pitch is, listen, I think this product can do that for you. Maybe it can, maybe it can't, but it's $6. You can try it out, and if it doesn't, I'll give you your $6 back. Why don't you sign up here? That's your pitch, and that will work for you. Isn't that crazy? But that's how it can. It's no joke. The way that we're going to do this, that's very often the case. But let's actually look at it another angle real quick, John. Do you suppose there's lots of instances that people have audiences already pre-assembled, who you can come to them and say, listen, what if I were to help you create a product for your audience that you haven't created yet, and then we'll just put it in front of them, and you just give me a chunk of whatever profits might occur? Do you think that will work? Do you think that could happen because you have that skill of product creation that most people do not have? There's a million lists out there, but there's very few people that can create good products for that list. One more question on this one. And John, can you see the questions as they're coming in right now, or is GoToWebinar acting weird for you?
I can, for the most part, see them, and there is exactly that question, Jason.
Okay, so let's get out of here. I got something I want you to do. I want you to look at the chat box, and I'm going to ask people this question. Most products you buy, are they amazing, or are they just blah? Most products you buy, are they amazing, or are they just blah? Type in amazing or blah in the chat. And then, John, you tell me what the result is.
It looks like, Charlie Brown, blah, 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 right? Charlie Brown, right? When the adult's speaking, it's blah, blah, blah. And mostly blah, blah, blah. Almost
so
all
there's
except for Rapid Crush.
Yeah, exactly. There's your opportunity. if everybody's doing mostly blah products and you can help somebody turn a blah product into an amazing product, gee, you can get into any list really that you want to access in any market. And since they already have the rapport with the audience owner, the conversion can take place a lot easier because of the trust involved, right? And you turn blah products into amazing products. And it's not so much the information that makes the product amazing, because there's a lot of wonderful people out there. He sure can do it, but can he teach it? That's always the question, right? Give me a good teacher over a good doer any day of the week. That's what I want. You be the Michael Jordan, and I'll just be the Phil Jackson, right? I'll be a mediocre player, but I'll be an awesome coach, because a coach can coach many awesome players. And that's what you're going to be doing here. That's an option for you. The beautiful thing is when you have power, you have unlimited options. And the most powerful thing you're going to have when it comes to internet marketing is knowing how to create an information product, straight up. People will say, well, it's not the product, it's how you market the product. True. So if it's not the product, it's how you market the product, how can we make a product that markets itself? What a concept, right? That's the breakthrough. producteclass.com/now. Sign up. Get in before the offer, special offer, expires at $999.95 or 4 installments at $279.95.
Some great comments came in all in a batch, Jason, right? It's okay, I'm in. I love the content presented and expected no less. I'm in. I see another one here. I'm retired military and refuse to work for anyone. Very, very interesting. Liberating. This is cornerstone. This is foundational. This is the linchpin in many, many cases. Very interesting. Another comment here. I invested in me. Boy, isn't that telling? Thank you, Jason. It says, right? Goes on.
Thank you.
It's so many different people saying this is quite an information product about information products, right? You're getting to see that. Jason has already sort of let that cat out of the bag there. You're going to get the meta view. Jason uses that phrase, uses that word, either the meta level or meta. You're going to see, and I saw a couple of the spy photos early on, and I was like, wow, this is truly new, truly different, truly revolutionary. And you're getting in now before anyone else. It gives you an advantage in your market as well. If you were thinking, oh, what about competition, although I don't believe in competition any more than Jason does, it does set you apart. You get to take action on this immediately by going to producteclass.com/now. So really, really cool. And you do not need a list. Absolutely you do not need a list. And you might be thinking, well, I don't know anyone who has an email list. I saw that earlier. I don't have an email list. You don't need an email list. Do you have any sort of presence online? Right? Think about Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and so on. Or if you don't, do you know just one person who does? And if you don't have that for whatever reason, Jason can show you how to do that as well. It's actually
well, you know, John, I saw an announcement in the paper the other day. It says first baby ever born with an email list, right? And that was the first time in history anybody was born with an email list. The rest of us had to build it. And most of us built it with an information product. And by the way, no, I did not actually read that announcement. I'm making a point, right? You get an email list by having a product. You don't have an email list and then get a product. It's the other way around, right? And Wilson, the co-founder of Rapid Crush, he started his business by selling his product on Twitter. This was back in, I don't know when. It was a long time ago. Started on Twitter. John, how did you start?
My brother actually. My brother came home back to the family house, right? And the family had all gathered for a holiday. And my brother comes to me and he says, I actually asked him. I said, how's it going? He was a student at the time, and he says to me, I made $3,000 this weekend. And I'm like, whoa! Totally blown away by him making $3,000. I pull him to the side. And basically, I'm like, dude, are you selling drugs? And I wasn't kidding. I pulled him aside. I said, are you selling drugs? Make sure mom and dad don't hear you say that. And he goes, no, I sold a PDF. And I'm thinking that he sold like a research report. He was a student. I figured he had done this for a corporation or something as a consulting gig. No. It was like a 12-page report, $10, selling 300 units. He sold 300 units, $10. And it was 12 pages long. And it was something as simple as, hey, this is how you make money with blogging and throw on some monetization. At the time, it was AdSense. He had perfected it, found a way to do it, had the proof. Boom! And by the way, that's another thing, Jason. In Product D Class Ultima, I know that you do show that and explain the power of proof, how you can generate it, how you can get it, how you can borrow it, how other people are willing to give it to you. They're thrilled about it, in fact. It's built in. I don't have proof. Well, yes, you do. Jason shows you how.
Yeah, we
Very
do a
cool
whole discourse on proof. Like, I'll give you a great example. If I was selling a product on how to do, well, if I am, when I do, and when you can as well, selling a product on how to do keynote presentations and PowerPoint presentations, the only proof you need is to say, look at this PowerPoint presentation. Would you like to make ones like this? Go here and buy it, right? That is one facet of proof with which we teach. Find solutions where all you got to do is show them the solution, and that in its own right is proof. And there's millions of situations where that exists, right? There's also products that require zero proof. There are many products. So think about how valuable data is. If you just go out there and collect data, that's really all there's a lot of markets that will straight up buy data. And what's the proof? The proof is, here's a little bit of data. Would you like more? Go here and buy it, right? That's an example. That's one of many examples of products that need zero proof. There's products that the proof is the product itself, and then there's products where experience is the proof. Go down to the food pantry. Listen. Take notes. Now you have experience, and experience can translate to proof. I didn't know how to write an article in 7 minutes. And then I set some time and focused on it, and then I did, right? That's another way of gaining proof through experience. However, other people might already have the proof, and then you can work with them to help them better monetize their proof than they currently do. So you remember earlier, what did we say at the beginning of the call? I said, I believe every problem can be solved by asking the right questions. The questions I asked myself when I started, if I don't have proof, can I sell products where proof isn't even required? Found out I could. Then I asked myself, if proof is very helpful, what's the easiest, quickest way I can get proof? And the answer to that was very simple. Find a problem and spend a couple hours going insane on that problem. Because here's the deal. Every one of your customers could spend 5 hours like you just spent 5 hours. Or they could spend $5 and save 5 hours. Now here's why the math works. This is the kind of math I get really excited about. If you could only sell your product one time to one person, it's not worth it for you to spend 5 hours to make $5, is it? No. But what if you could sell on the dint of working for 5 hours a $5 product, but you could sell it to 1,000 people? Then is it worth it to you to work for 5 hours to make $5,000? But the math gets better. Let's look at the other angle. Think about this. This is great. I just saved somebody 5 hours, and they paid me $5 to save 5 hours, right? They won. They won. But I also won because I'm not selling it to one person. I'm selling it to many people. So I'm making $5 per 5 hours of effort. I'm just making it repeatedly. So I win, and they win. Everybody wins. This is why this is the greatest damn business in the world, and don't you forget it. At the end of the day, we're selling stuff. Now you say, Jason, I know you sell a lot of physical products too. You're right, I do. And you know what we can do with every single customer that we sell the physical product to? We can also sell or package and bundle together information with that product. And vice versa. We can use information products to acquire customers and then sell them physical products that augment and help and enhance our information products. It's such a wonderful, it's a circle. Where do you start it? Where does a circle begin? And where does a circle end? It doesn't. And this is the thing that plugs into the next thing. But the wonderful thing here is the math always works out in your favor. Even if all you do is save somebody 5 hours, but they pay $5 for that benefit, and you say, well, I sell 1,000 people. You know, Matt sells 300 people, a $10 report, makes $3,000 in a week. Pretty good for a college kid. So good, in fact, John's sitting there saying, John's like, wow, I make pretty good money working this corporate gig over here. And I'm the older brother. Maybe I should get into this business as well. And he did. John built a $1 million empire before he came over to Rapid Crush. on the back of information products. Would you say, is that fair, John? The main part of your success was information products, right?
Yeah, no doubt about it. And that's actually a perfect segue into something you had mentioned in the training earlier, and I know you go into great depth in Product D-Class Ultima, and that is the power of information products as assets. I had mentioned the foundation, cornerstone, keystone, and so forth. You can use these information products, even ones that don't quite do what you want them to do in the market. So let's say you do your first one, it doesn't quite do what you want it to do. You can leverage that asset in many ways. In fact, you can recycle that exact asset. In some cases, I've done this, Jason, and you know it. You've seen this. I put a product out in the market, didn't do so well. So what I did is I actually expanded on this somewhat failed product, raised the price dramatically, and then I just scored. And I scored again and again, right? I actually went from, basically a strikeout to a home run, to use a baseball analogy, right? I went from something that failed to something that was really great, and all it took was a little bit more with that product. Another example of awesomeness with an asset that you can leverage in different ways and reuse in different ways is, even if you never intend to sell a product on the open market, you can use that particular asset in some very creative ways. For example, you could use it to build a list. You could use it for a giveaway if you'd like to do that. Crank out a particular product, right, as a giveaway or as a lead magnet to build your list. That's kind of fun to do. Another thing you can do is use it as a bonus and do nothing but affiliate marketing. Imagine that. You're like, I don't really want to sell. I don't want to put anything out there. I don't want to do anything with the sales page. All I want to do is, maybe you love creating products. That's all you want to do and work as an affiliate. Bam, bam, bam. You pump out one product after another, and you leverage that asset as an affiliate marketer. That's something I did many, many, many times. And as Jason mentioned, we're talking a multi-million-dollar empire. I mean, over time, I made millions of dollars, and almost entirely that was based on products in one shape, form, or another. Really incredible, incredible stuff.
It is, and then think about it this way: you can license information products. So, like, Neil was talking about an email, and he said that it was related to a licensing deal. So even if you create a product and you sell it to one person, imagine with my techniques, I am very confident you could easily make $1,000 a week just creating and selling a product to one person. Hey, here's a product, here's $1,000. Here's a product, here's $1,000. You do that, that's $48,000 a year, and then you could take off 4 weeks, right? You could do that part-time. $50,000 a year part-time per year, around there, right? For most people, that's amazingly an upgrade in a lifestyle, because a lot of people who want to bridge the gap from working for somebody else to working for themselves, $50,000 a year would be that perfect thing, to where you could cut the time in half that you're working and making the same amount of money. And then guess what you can do in that situation? Double your free time and yet still make the same amount of money. Guess what you could do in that situation? The answer is pretty much anything you want to. If you want to live a life of leisure, and that's perfectly fine, you can do that. If you want to spend more time with people as a result, family, loved ones, church, charitable organizations, you can totally do that. If you want to say, wow, now that I've de-linked my time working for somebody else, yes, it's true I'm still trading time for dollars by creating information products for others. But now that it takes half the time, let me make one more slight adjustment and de-link time from money altogether. Because that's what info products are if you sell them, right? Doesn't matter whether it took you 1 minute or 1 hour or 1 day or 1 month or 1 year to create that product. If it helps somebody, it helps somebody, and they don't care how long it took you, as long as it helps them, right? And whether it helps one person or 1 million people, it doesn't really change anything in terms of the effort involved for you to create that product. Yes, you'll have a little bit more support, but that's okay. You could support it with the millions of dollars you're making as a result, right? But the thing is this, it's like, it doesn't matter how much effort or how little effort you take to make the solution. It doesn't matter if you sell it to 1 million people or one person, right? The time you put in is the time you put in. But the amount of money you make can be completely de-linked from the time you put in. So think about this as a bridge. If right now you want to get out of whatever financial situation you're currently in, meaning what you're currently doing to generate your revenue, use this as a bridge, because it's a higher value technique and activity to replace for the time to dollar equation, right? And then it's only a slight adjustment from there to delink time to money altogether. Hopefully that wasn't too theoretical or too high level. Hopefully that rang true for you in some way, shape, or form. ProductEclass.com/now can do that for you. There's a million ways you can make money with a good information product. I would be more surprised if you found a way not to make money with one. That would be the real genius. If you found some way after making a go at this and you create a few information products to not hit upon success, that would be a miracle right there.
This one's pretty interesting, Jason, and I love questions like this, and I know you do as well. Now, we do know that many people have never created their own information product. They just haven't done it. So this is
That's
perfect,
my favorite
right?
people, by the way.
So it's great. People that are like, oh, they're maybe a little timid, maybe a little gun
The
shy,
old
maybe
dog
just
is
haven't
hard
heard
to
of this.
teach. Yeah, the old dog is harder to teach new tricks to than the new dog. But we'll take them on because we can help them.
We'll take that's right. So this is about the person who maybe has been around for a while, maybe even has some products. They're thinking about expanding. They're thinking about this as being a springboard. And this question, I just love this type of question. Would this be something that a virtual assistant could either help me with or even take over for me if I have a few people on my team?
Absolutely. What's important is the framework. The person behind it is less important. Now, there's two types of information business. There is the personality-based information business, and then there's the non-personality-based information business. Both have their pros and cons. So Rapid Crush, is that a non-personality-based information business or a personality-based information business? Well, the laugh alone right there should tell you that it's a personality-based business. Most people equate Jason Fladlin to Rapid Crush to the idea or concept or implementation. That's a personality-based business. Now, For Dummies, on the other hand, is a non-personality-based business. It's actually a pseudo-personality because the dummy is the personality, but they just go out and source experts and they use a framework and a distribution point with which to provide information. Ghostwriters can be other examples of pseudo-personalities, or there's completely information that doesn't even have a name on it. It's just a book somebody buys or a thing that they buy, or an education course that they buy. Like Udemy. Does anybody here ever go to Udemy and really shop and buy information? It's kind of funny. Udemy is one of my favorite people because they get people excited about information products, but they don't whet their appetite. They actually increase their appetite for a good information product. So Udemy is bringing in a lot of business for all of us these days to take advantage of, where they take a course that is built less around a personality and more about a non-personality, so you can leverage and use that if you wish to. But then you can also be the connection point between that. The point of it is this. Any way you want to do it, we can do it, as long as you have the information product. You take everything else out, we can do it. Whether you want to put your name on it or whether you want to put somebody else's name on it. Whether you want to do it with a personality backing it so the person is as much as the product and factoring into the purchase, great. Or if you just want to be completely anonymous and let the information stand on its own, that works as well. There are many different ways we can get to the finish line together and be very successful. And I'm very confident that your situation is one of those where we can accommodate that. Here's the only thing I can't help, John. Lack of desire. You know the person that comes in to a motivational event with their arms crossed? That person I can help, by the way, because they just basically say, win me over. I can win you over, right? I can't help the person that doesn't come in the room, though. That lack of desire, I can't do that. We can't go down the street and kick somebody's door in and say, hey, wake up. Sign up for this course. I'm going to make you money creating products. Can't help that person. Unless it's just by chance, right? You got to have the desire, because I'm going to tell you to do things that are not natural. If they were natural, you would have already done them. I'm going to tell you to try things that are going to put you out of your comfort zone a little bit. Of course. Because if they were in your comfort zone, you had already done them. So I'm going to challenge you, and I'm going to push you, and I'm going to make you step up in new ways that you haven't stepped up before. I'm going to expand your character in ways that hasn't been expanded before, and that's challenging. And the way that you see through the challenge is with your desire to achieve what you want to achieve. You have that desire, we can make it work. Personality, non-personality. On your own, with virtual assistants. With traffic, without traffic. With an email list, with no email list. With a lot of money, or with the last dollar you have to your name. Desire plus willingness just to try it out and see what happens. Many people don't know this about me, John, because I don't talk about it a lot, but you can find it if you Google it out there. I used to be a Hare Krishna monk for many years. In fact, it was one of the greatest times of my life. It really prepared me to look at the world in a different way, which allows breakthroughs, like I have in Product E-Class Ultima, right? And what got me into Hare Krishna was I was reading the Bhagavad Gita, and in the introduction, there was this thing that just hit me just right. It said, a reasonable, sane person, when presented with a good idea, will try it out, and if they see benefit in it, they will continue with it. And it just hit me at the right time in the right place in my life. I was 20 years old, and I said, okay, I'll try it out. And at the time, I suffered a lot from anxiety and panic attacks, right? And immediately, by just trying out a little bit of it, I felt relief. So I tried a little bit more. And next thing I knew, I was a full-blown Hare Krishna monk for many years. And it was one of the greatest times of my life. And it really was like required for me to get to where I'm at these days, right? But that's beautiful, isn't it? When presented with a good idea, a reasonable, insane person, not insane, but reasonable and sane person will try it out. And if it has merit and benefit to them, they will continue to do it. That's what I'm asking you for today. Now, here's the last thing in this situation. Do you know what ultima actually means? You know what the word ultima means, one of the main definitions of ultima? The last syllable of the word. That's the ultima, the last syllable in the word. The last syllable is the ultima. This is the last syllable in the word of internet marketing here, Product E-Class, at producteclass.com/now. You know, people, one last thing, John, I'm on a roll here, okay? People say, Jason, I wish I could sell like you. You can't. Once you've got products that you're that passionate about, the selling comes easily. You know that technically you might never be as good as me, nor I don't think you would want to. It takes a unhinged, slightly deranged individual to go as deep as I do at understanding selling, right? But that is all secondary to the passion that you put in once you know you have something that's powerful like we have here. And hell, it's not going to fix everybody who's broken, but it's going to fix enough to make it all worthwhile. And I am willing to take that risk on you and place that bet on you at producteclass.com/now. Backed by our double your money back guarantee, infused with the 3 products, the resale products that are exclusive to Product E-Class Ultima, the bonuses, the case study, the step-by-step instruction. That's all available to you right now when you go to producteclass.com/now.
Yeah, and Jason, thanks for that. It really summarizes an awful lot. I'm seeing questions. I went back through up to the top, all the way to the bottom, and what I'm seeing, I realized that we didn't really go into. You did in your own way, but not like with the nuclear bomb. There's questions based on fear. Really, I think that there are a lot of folks that are just one mouse click away from making the investment that they really, really want to. They know that it's right for them. The price is right. The timing is right. But one fear is holding them back. And I see a whole host of these. Jason, I'm not like you. Jason, I don't have your personality. Jason, what about the technology? Jason, do I have to talk to people? Jason, do I need to do screencasting? Do I need to, have whatever it happens to be? Do I need? Can I blank? And there's that one little fear. And everyone has fear, before they make that final decision, no matter what it is. Whether you're getting married, or you're thinking about having children, whether you're thinking about going to school, change jobs, no matter what it is, make the investment today. You make the investment today. The thing that's different about Product D-Class, and I want to hear from Jason on this for sure, but the thing that's different here is, unlike jumping into something, brand new in life with relationships, let's say, I mean, sometimes you can't back out easily. It's very, very painful to back out. It's very hard to adjust the decision that you've made. But here, you're in the driver's seat. You are in control. You're in command. You are doing this for yourself. You're building from the ground up something of great value. ProductDclass.com/now. You make the investment, and that will get you through the fear. That will get you to where you need to go. And if for some strange reason, if some odd reason, some off chance, something happens in your life, who knows what it is, you're covered. You're covered by Jason straight up, and you're covered by the guarantee as well. Now, Jason said that many times, but I do want to go back, Jason. I know I kind of went through that, answered it in a way, but you have a unique way of talking about people having, let's say, one fear, maybe two fears, but one fear before they make the investment. And I really like to throw it over to you and have you sort of destroy whatever fear is in the mind of someone before they make the investment.
Yeah, and I don't know if you can ever destroy fear. You can try to mute it or
True.
push it into a corner. I don't know if you can destroy it, but here's the question I would pose to the individual. It says, Jason, I'm a mouse click away from investing, but I'm not quite there yet. What would you say to an individual like that? If they came to me with that, I would say this. I go, was there ever a time in your life when you felt fear yet still made a good decision? And I'm asking you, this isn't theoretical, this isn't rhetorical here, I'm asking anyone here on this call with us, was there ever a time in your life when you felt fear, yet you still made a good decision and moved forward, even if you were feeling or experiencing fear? And my guess is, because I'm not looking at the questions box, my guess is that most of you can say, yes, I've had that experience before. So I would ask you, what about that experience can you draw from, if anything, and relate it to this right here? Are there commonalities, or could there be commonalities? What caused you, in spite of feeling that fear, to make the correct decision anyway, and not let fear cloud your judgment? Would that be worthwhile to think about in relation to this decision that you have now? Compare them. I bet you it was actually a lot more severe, the consequences, with the decision where you felt fear in the past but yet still made the decision and did good by it anyway. I bet you if you made the wrong decision, the consequences were much more severe back then than this decision here today. Don't you agree with that? And now ask yourself, okay, it's not fear or no fear that determines whether I make the decision. It's something beyond fear, at the core of my being, that truly decides what I should do. And I think you know the answer to that. And I think it's making more sense now than it ever has for you to go to ProductDclass.com/now and sign up. And yes, you are not me. And no, you do not have my personality. And my mother, I don't think it was just my mother telling me this. I think it's true. I am a very unique individual. There's only one like me that comes around every so often. Thank God, by the way. The world can only handle so many Jason Fladlets, right? What's 1% of 15.7 million? John, what's 1% of 15.7 million?
157,000, I think.
Yeah, let's start there. Just be 1% like me. I'm not joking. Just be 1% like me. We'll start there, and then you can decide whether you want to go more, if that's good enough. And for most people, that's good enough. And there's the value in terms of money, but there's also the value in terms of contribution. And I would argue of those two, contribution is more valuable. At the end of the day, it's not the thread count in the sheets or the type of bedding or the house we live in that really excites my wife. It's when she goes to conferences with me and people surround us and tell her stories about how I've helped them. That's more exciting and thrilling to her than any house or any car that we drive, right? But it's also nice to drive those cars and live in the houses. So let's do both. producteclass.com/now.